And welcome back to the Life of Loz. Just up here in the Perth Hills today. Absolutely stunning morning in Perth, Western Australia. This is, she was only 2.2 degrees today. So she was definitely a very nice cold start to the day. Have a look at that view. That is just amazing up here. This road, I haven't been down this road for a fair while and it's just bumpy as absolute shite. But anyway, what can you do? It is what it is. Back to the absolute beauty. Oh, absolutely wicked. I just want to talk today about tyres. These are just the original Rosso 4s. And I've done 5,000 kilometres. And they are absolutely toast. I am definitely not, the fastest rider out there, but these are toast. I definitely like to get a bit of a lean on. I'm going to go for a Bridgestone Battle Axe S23 and see. I mean, I know, listen, I only get 5,000 or 6,000 out of most tyres, but I definitely want to get a bit more grip than these Rossos provide. This is the first time I've had these Pirellis, and some people rate them really highly. As far as I'm concerned, I reckon they're shite. Just due to the fact of when they're new, they take a fair while to come on, and even throughout their lifespan, you go anywhere near like a white line or something like that, these things are just all over the shop, and any little tiny line in the bitumen or the pavement, it's just, this thing is just right out of whack. And it'll just be like a one of those crappy shopping trolleys that you get down a supermarket, like it'll just start pissing off down the wrong aisle, and without any sort of notice whatsoever. So they are, they've got a decent amount of grip. I'm right on the edge of the tyre, doing a little bit over the speed limit maybe, but I'm not going to put those back on there, and I'll see exactly how much I can get out of a Bridgestone S23, because I'm a Bridgestone guy. I love my S22s. I only just got my S23s on my MV Augusta before I got rid of it. And so I definitely can't wait to get the S23s on this bike. I think it's going to be an absolute, just beautiful. It'll track really well. Like you can power on going over a white line, even though it does move around a little bit, but it just gives you that, that inspiring confidence just to, nail it through the corners. And I think it's definitely must have. But anyway, if I go to an S23 and then try out a T33 from Bridgestone, I think that'll be a little good option for me. Everybody goes for the Michelin Pilot Road 5s and Pilot Road 6s, but listen, I want a little bit more sporty and a sporty natured riding rather than the old Michelin. But so the other little thing that I wanted to talk about today is everybody seems to have an opinion on, this little tiny little screen. Oh, there's not enough wind protection and all those sorts of, little gripes. If I bought one, well, I'd definitely get a bigger screen. But one thing I want everyone to, just to consider, right, is if I just take this little helmet off here, just think of this, right? So most of your bikes, when it comes down to it, you've got your rider that sort of sits, and that's a straight line, straight across the tank. So on your BMWs, your R1300 GSs, all those sorts of things, where it comes to, they've got all this, extra, the Perspex bracketry and those little things that come out there so that they can hook their Perspex windscreens and everything onto. So if you think of that, that's where your normal bike stops. So technically all of that from there above, that is actually your windscreen. From there, on your BMW, you have a look, suss it out. So that there goes all the way up to the top. And then you put your screen up. So how much of a bigger rider are you going to be? So you think about your normal bike, That's the bit of wind protection. There's that much screen. Ducati don't muck around. If they thought that the screen wasn't adequate enough, they would have put a bigger one on there. And you can buy all the touring screens, you can buy the bigger screens, but Ducati have put a lot of emphasis into the aerodynamics and the buffeting effect. So this here is designed to go straight up over your shoulders, How much of the rider, when you sit on this bike, is actually going to be in the wind? That's what you've got to ask yourself. So this tiny little windscreen, oh no, it's only too small. How much of that bike is actually going to be in the wind? So yeah, that's your food for the thought for today. How big do you want that screen to actually be? So when you're on your normal bike, you know, that's technically, oh, I can't do it really well, that's looking stupid. So technically your screen actually starts from about here and then works its way up. Now you see what I mean? So, you know, like Ducati have worked really hard so that it doesn't have that buffeting effect. And for me cruising along, I came from a naked bike scenario. So listen, I really don't know what I'm talking about. I'm used to just getting absolutely smashed in the wind. But on this bike, when I'm cruising along, you know, up to the speed limit and maybe just a little bit over, I never put that screen up. I just don't. On my MV Agusta, you used to have your helmet sitting on there, all that stuff. Definitely don't do it here. So yeah, I think the wind protection is definitely adequate enough for this bike. And yeah, look at that absolutely perfect view. She's a stunner out here today. So that's all I wanted to talk about on this on today. Is just the Pirellis. They're just, you know, like a dodgy shopping trolley there trying to piss off down the wrong aisle, and the windscreen protection. So I think it's absolutely adequate enough. I'm sorry I haven't done a video over the last couple of weeks because it's been pissing down with rain, and I'm just waiting for new parts. Ooh, I need some new parts. So yeah. Anyway, try to make sure you wear all the gear all the time. You've been watching Our Life of Loz. Obviously, I am Loz, and I'll see you on the next one. Boom.